The Public Service Commission will hold a final hearing on the request May 22nd. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
Attention Saginaw County veterans and families. YMCA of Saginaw is home to the new Saginaw County Veterans Service Office and Michigan Veterans Trust Fund. The Veterans Office assists those who have served in helping receive benefits such as medical, pension, disability, transportation, emergency relief, death benefits, family support, and more. Visit the Y, located at 1915 Ford D Street, and learn about the resources available to help live your best life. Open Monday through Friday, noon to 4. For an appointment, call 989-753-7721, extension 0.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, an evening with James Taylor.
Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain.
Friday night, June 23rd, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
How sweet it is to be loved by.
Tickets start at $36, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com.
Oh, Mexico, you got a friend.
James Taylor, Under the Stars, June 23rd at Soaring Eagle Casino.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. A federal grand jury has indicted 2 men for their roles in a bank robbery spree in several communities. Investigators say 24-year-old Carl Love Jr. of Detroit and 21-year-old Laurent Hill of Warren committed the robberies in February and March. They targeted banks in Redford, Harper Woods, East Point, and Grosse Pointe Woods. The pair wrote on their own pay stubs, according to police, threatening they had a gun and would shoot if their demands weren't met. The suspects were eventually arrested after a high-speed chase. You could be one step closer to enjoying a beer in a college stadium. There's a bipartisan effort underway in Lansing to allow universities to sell alcohol at some on-campus sporting events. Representative Graham Filler is one of the authors of the legislation.
Universities all over the country are doing it, and they're creating their safety policies, and they're informing students of age and also attendees, adult attendees, about limits and when they'll cut off alcohol sales, and it's just leading to a better, safer game atmosphere.
Filler says selling alcohol would also keep Michigan universities competitive. Senator Sean McCann is also leading the effort. Alcohol sales would be allowed at basketball, football, and hockey games. The city of Iron Mountain in the Upper Peninsula has until Friday to respond to a lawsuit filed against it alleging sexual harassment and gender discrimination. WLUC reports former Iron Mountain police officer Teresa Williams claims that her former partner, Sergeant Garth Budek, and Deputy Director Joseph Dumais subjected her to forced kissing and touching. In police documents, Budek claimed the affair was consensual. Williams also claims she was unfairly disciplined and held to a different standard than her male counterparts. WSGW News Time, 9:10. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Wednesday has a high of 55 degrees, increasing cloud coverage. This is after we start the day with some sun and then just a few scattered rain and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. Our wind much lighter today, only 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, more scattered rain and just a couple of isolated thunderstorms. And then on your Thursday, a high of 74, more spotty rain and thunderstorm chances, but our wind gusts picking back up on Thursday, back to around 30 miles per hour. Friday also has just mainly an AM chance for rain. This is as a cold front clears our area. Friday afternoon looking drier before more chances for rain and snow again into the upcoming weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Current temperature 36 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Indeed, Westside Decorating Center, 789 State Street in Saginaw. They have a newly expanded showroom and new product lines too, so stop in. You'll find everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. We are broadcasting today from the offices of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club in Saginaw. We'll tell you all about that in just a moment, but we'll also tell you coming up later on in this hour, around 9:30, we're going to chat with Saginaw City Manager Tim Morales. And at 10 o'clock, we're going to learn about FIRST Robotics. All of that is coming up this morning. But as I mentioned, we are here at the offices of the Saginaw Spirit. And sitting next to me for a few minutes this morning, the voice and face of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. We say good morning to Dylan Clark.
Good
Dylan,
morning,
good
Art.
morning. Good morning.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. Oh, thanks for having us. I mean, we're sitting here in your place now. I mean, this is your studio. Kind of a disappointing start to the second round, obviously. We're down 3-0. But yet, I don't think the kids can hang their heads, because I think they played reasonably well against a much bigger, older team.
No, I think in every game that we've seen so far, Saginaw's had better and better chances and better odds to win. I mean, I think that game 3 was their most complete performance of this second round, and it's probably their best chance to win there so far, and just little things, and that's what makes a team like Sarnia. That's what makes a team like Sarnia so talented, and that's why they're maybe a little bit more favored in this series going into it, is just because it only takes a handful of mistakes, and Sarnia's a team that's going to make you pay.
I really thought, particularly after they waved off that one goal, because it was an offside goal, that was really going to give the Spirit momentum. Because it was tied 2-2 at that point, if I remember right. I think it was.
That would have given Sarnia the 2-1 lead, but
that would have been the 2-1 lead. Okay,
yeah.
So it was 1-1.
Yeah, the hand pass. So it goes back even to one aside, and it's just the way the playoffs go. I guess it's playoff hockey. That's the different beast. But when we've seen a lot of, I think the goaltending performances in this series have been the best. One of the best in the playoffs so far. I mean, Ben Gaudreau and Tristan Lennox have just been going kind of save for save with one another, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. And
it could be said about the Flint series too.
Absolutely, Nathan Day was spectacular.
Unbelievable. He was unbelievable. Yeah, so it's your fortunes can live or die by the goalie.
Oh yeah,
no two ways about
it. But Tristan Lennox he's given him a chance to win every night, and we started to see in Game 3 something that Dennis and I had talked about leading into the game, is you want to see a little bit more depth scoring, because it had been Matthias Sapovalov, he had 16 points going into the game, which is, it's unbelievable. It's almost a 2-point per game pace, but it can't just come from one guy. Nobody in the bottom 6 had really made a dent in the series that far, at least not on the score sheet. But Sebastian Gervais gets one. His line with Theo Hill and Nick Sema factor in on the goals there, and that was the start. Zane Perret gets one from the back end, the rookie defenseman scoring. So you started to see that in that third game, and I think it kind of sets Saginaw up nicely to kind of have a strong start, at least going out in Game 4 tomorrow.
Yep, well, it's comeback time. We're down 3-0, and Game 4 is tomorrow at the Dow. I suspect tickets are available.
We might have a few laying around.
Yeah, we can find some tickets for you, folks. 497-7747, or stop into the Spirit office here on State Street and talk about tickets, because that crowd provides a certain amount of impetus to the team, doesn't it?
It makes the Dow Event Center a tough building to play in. I think if you're the opposition, you're down there, because again, it's everybody's kind of right on top of you too, the way the seats are laid out. And it's we have one of the bigger buildings in the OHL. A lot of the places you go, like Sarnia is just the one level. Trying to think what else. Flint is just the one level. But here in Saginaw, you got the lower bowl, you got the upper bowl, and so it's a lot of opportunity to fans to kind of be right on top of you.
Yeah, it is. People don't realize that, but it seats like 52,
well over
54, something like that for hockey, and that's pretty good size OHL arena.
Yeah, we had well over 5,500 in the building for Game 7 against Flint.
Standing room only. So what's it going to take?
Well,
other than 4 wins.
Well, yeah, and they were Chris Lazary and Mitchell Smith talked to the media yesterday after the game, and both of them were just kind of, because obviously that's the obvious question you got to ask. It's like, oh, you got to win 4 in a row now. What do you guys think? And they're just like, no, we got to win one.
One at a
That's
time.
it. That's what their thinking is right now. That's what their focus is, and this I think they're in a good spot. They've got a good leadership group to be in a situation like this. Obviously, you never want to be in a situation like this, but they have the leadership group in Mitchell Smith and Dean Locus and Roberto Mancini and Hunter Hayton. You can go all on down the list. Theo Hill and Tristan Lennox and obviously Chris Lasry at the helm. They're focused in, and there's obviously a sense of urgency. I don't think there's a sense of panic that a lot of teams might get when they're down 3-0. And that's where you kind of get into trouble, is when you do start to get panic. Because when you panic, you make mistakes, and that's all she wrote. So I think limiting the panic is a factor, and I think something that Saginaw is going to be pretty apt to do here in Game 4.
Not only are we talking about Game 4 this week, but Friday, draft day.
Yeah.
And we'll have Dave Drinkle on tomorrow to talk about it. But what are you guessing they're going to need and want?
Well, I think a little bit of everything. I mean, I don't know, because you take a look at what you're losing. For sure, you're losing a defenseman in Mitchell Smith, a very strong skating, puck-moving defenseman in Mitchell Smith. You're losing a number one goaltender, but then again, Andrew Oak.
You have another number one.
Exactly, and he hasn't had as much of an opportunity to prove himself as Andrew Oak. He played in, I want to say, just shy of 30 games this year, which again, that's no small body of work, and he got forced into a little bit more action in last season than he may have been ready for at his age. I think he was 17 that year, because Tristan Lennox went down with an injury. Right. But this is kind of Andrew Oak's time coming up next year, and obviously don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But obviously, I think some goaltenders and I mean, again, it's going to be whatever Dave Drinkle sees as the needs going for a Memorial Cup run, and I think that's the time is going to be a factor too, because it's going to be a. I mean, we think the season's a grind as it currently is, when you're going to be playing hockey all the way into June with the Memorial Cup.
Because they are, one way or another. They are
right. So that's a factor as far as how you're constructing your roster.
Yeah, and the Memorial Cup, of course, is going to be a significant event for this region. First time in the Eastern United States ever, and thousands of people coming to town. And word yesterday that everything was approved for construction of the building, reconstruction of some parts of the building, including the elevator. Yes. I was kidding about that with Robert Pellman yesterday, and one of the first things he said when I saw him was, "They approved the elevator."
There you go.
All right.
That's actually news to me. I didn't know that. That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge. I'm taking the elevator every chance I get.
Well, it's going to be on the other side. You'll have to walk around.
Never mind.
That's all right.
Not taking the elevator.
No, you have to walk around. It's going to be interesting to see how they reface the dressing rooms and things of that nature.
Yeah, because I'm not entirely sure how many years ago it was that they redid the Spirit dressing room, but the visitors will have some high quality ones now too. Because I mean, they found that they had the space, and now they're just turning the space into nicer space.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll just chat for a couple more moments with Dylan. And then we're going to talk to Saginaw City Manager Tim Morales around 9:30. Let me first see if we can give away some money here on WSGW, because it's time to play WSGW's Baseball Bucks. Your chance to win $1,000, and it's brought to you by Westside Decorating Center. I'll give you a word. You'll put that word on WSGW.com for your chance to win. And the word this hour, Giants, as in the San Francisco Giants. Giants. It's an Alpha Company-wide contest. And for your chance to win, you go to WSGW.com. Roll to play. And complete rules at WSGW.com. Baseball Bucks, brought to you by Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. And we will be back.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Morgan Stanley's business held up better than expected in the recent quarter, though the stock is lower. Its investment banking business slumped from a year ago and trading revenue declined. U.S. Bancorp reported a higher profit than a year ago. It was helped by higher interest rates, though deposits declined at the end of the quarter. U.S. Bancorp says deposit balances have been relatively stable since the first week of March. United Airlines shares are higher. Its loss at the start of the year was smaller than predicted, and it's seeing strong travel demand heading into summer, especially for international flights. Beer drinkers are still buying Heineken. Its profit was better than forecast. The Dutch brewer is standing by its predictions for this year. It says consumer demand is holding up better than expected. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
What does winning Powerball sound like? Sounds like it's time to play. We're talking big.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $251 million.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9. Right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, broadcasting from the Saginaw Spirit offices. And the Saginaw Spirit, of course, involved in playoff hockey.
Are you ready for new flooring but not sure you can afford it? Hi, this is Marianne from Warden Interiors and Frankenmuth. Get new floors at a price you can afford with Mohawk Spring.
Oh, well, there goes Marianne. We'll get Marianne back in a little bit. Fat fingers. What can I tell you? So we are here, as I said, at the Saginaw Spirit offices, and tomorrow is game 4 of the second round series against the Sarnia Sting. It's interesting to watch because Sarnia certainly is a bigger, older, stronger team, but they're not fast. They're not nearly as fast as our folks.
No, and I think that's the thing that could be the difference. And we did see it in game 3. Like we were talking earlier, that was one of the more complete efforts we saw Saginaw put together in this series so far. And the speed was on full display. You know, you got guys like Hunter Haight and Joey Willis that are really out there to get the legs moving. And I think there was a little bit more ice available out there than there had been in game 1 or game 2. But again, not to say that the Sting are particularly slow by any stretch
no,
of the
no,
imagination.
they're just not as fast.
No,
as some of our guys.
and that's their that's the way they've constructed their team, is to be a heavier squad that can wear you down over time, and that's kind of what we saw in games 1 and 2, and not quite as much in game 3. But they've got 10 guys who are either drafted by or signed to NHL teams. So that's
got to be one of the heavier rosters like that in the league.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If it hadn't been, they had a slower start to the year, and then they started bringing guys in at the trade deadline. Luca Del Belbaluz, who actually ended up scoring the overtime game winner in game 2. He had one last night as well. He's one of those guys they brought in at the deadline. Ethan Del Mastro, 6'4" defenseman, and
I remember Sunday upstairs in Sarnia, and the starting lineup was announced. 4 out of the 5 guys were just recent acquisitions. They stacked the team, which is fine. I mean, they have the trade to do it. It doesn't bode well for teams like that, Windsor, next year, because they've blown out their wad of trade bait, so to speak.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, and that's Sarnia is trying to avoid a Windsor situation right now, because they did the same thing. They went all in and got a really big haul of pieces at the trade deadline. Windsor got Shane Wright, they got Brett Harrison from Oshawa, they got
and then they got
Jacob
Kitchener.
Holmes, and then they got swept. They didn't win a game. They got swept by the Kitchener Rangers in the first round, which nobody was expecting that.
No.
And Sarnia, they're in their 29 years, they haven't made it past the second round, and that's what the Sting are trying to do right now. And they have a really strong roster, but again, it's just game 4 here is the focus for Saginaw, but that is a strong Sarnia team.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, and again, the more people in the seats, the better it is for Saginaw, because that crowd means something. They respond to them. So tickets are available here at the Saginaw Spirit store. You can call 497-7747 on the website too.
Absolutely, SaginawSpirit.com.
Very simple.
It is very simple, easy to remember. So easy that even I can remember it.
That's good. All right, Dylan. Dylan Clark is the voice of the Saginaw Spirit. You hear him on all the games, doing all the play-by-play, along with his broadcast sidekick, Dennis DeRozier.
I'm going to start calling him that.
That's good. Yeah. I'll give you some other names you can call him.
I'm sure he's heard them all.
I'm sure he has. We were kidding about that the other day. A couple of years ago, I had interviewed Doc Emmerich, the great Doc Emmerich announcer, and he was involved in the International Hockey League, the IHL, in Port Huron many, many years ago, when in the 70s, when Saginaw and Port Huron were a rival. And I said, Doc, what do you remember about coming to Saginaw? He says, only one thing, Dennis DeRozier. I said, okay, that says it all. Oh, my goodness, yes. All right, my friend, we'll chat with you later.
Thanks, Art.
Dylan Clark, the voice of Saginaw Spirit Hockey. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to now switch gears and talk a little bit about the city of Saginaw. We're going to do that with the city manager. We say good morning to Tim Morales. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Glad to have you with us today. We're broadcasting from the Saginaw Spirit office, and the hockey team has been awarded the Memorial Cup next year. That is going to be a feather in the cap of this region, including the city, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It's going to showcase the hockey club, the city, and our entire region.
And there's going to be some sprucing up done. When people come to town, they're going to see some pretty nice stuff in the city of Saginaw.
Definitely. We're going to be doing a lot of work and working with the Spirit and the Convention and Visitors Bureau and Saginaw County to do a lot in the center of our city where the event will be taking place. And you're going to start seeing work done fairly quickly.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of time, really. I mean, it's 1 year and it's there it is. And the way
exactly,
time flies
yeah.
these days, I don't know. The older you get, the faster it goes. Seems that way anyway. So.
Yep, and it's. I think you're going to start seeing some things move in the next few weeks, even already.
Yeah. So what's happening in the city? What's on your plate these days?
Well, we do have a pretty big program that's starting next weekend. You remember when we were installing furnaces with the ARPA funds with our home rehab program that we set up. This Saturday, we're starting taking applications for roofs in the city. So that's going to be at City Hall, April 22nd this Saturday, and the next Saturday, April 29th at City Hall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. City residents who qualify can come in and apply for the program.
How many furnaces did you install? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, I think at this point, because we're doing more and more every day, I think it's well over 140 at this point. But it will be closer to 200, I believe, is the number we're going to get to, and so it's helping a lot of households. It's kind of it's a process. I did see people there just the other day still signing contracts, and we're working with a number of vendors, and we're going to be doing the same with the roofs so we can do it as quickly as possible. But when we get done with the whole program, we're going to be spending about $4 million of that ARPA money on these types of home improvements.
So someone with a home in the city of Saginaw, if they would like to find out about whether they qualify and what the process is, what do they need to do?
They can stop by City Hall. We do have flyers right now that people can check out, and they can look at those on our website too. There are some pretty basic things. First, if the roof is more than 20 years old, or if it's currently leaking, needs to be replaced, and you have to be a city resident, as you said. And there are also income requirements, and that's part of the ARPA legislation. So they can check all of that out on our website, or we have all the information here at City Hall too.
Now, is that a shared cost with the homeowner, or is it totally replaced by the ARPA funds?
Totally replaced.
Wow.
Yep. We did with the furnace program. We also partnered with Consumers Energy, so we could do more work. And many of the individuals or households that are getting furnaces are also getting water heaters.
Oh, wow. So, the ARPA money still have some left, or is it all accounted for now?
We've allocated almost all of it. We have about $800,000 remaining that council did put a pause on to make sure we get everything moving, and we have a cushion there between what we've allocated and what's going to be spent. So that's we're going to be reevaluating periodically this year. We have another meeting coming up on the 22nd of May where our consultants will be here. And then I believe it's later in the fall, August, September time period, we're going to be looking at what we've allocated already and reviewing that with council and where all of those contracts are.
So the ARPA funds, is it required that you spend every penny of it, or could you, for example, put it in a rainy day fund?
You have to spend it all, and you have to spend it all by a set time period. So once you really get into it, and by the time you get things allocated and you do all the reviews that are necessary, you have only a few years to spend it all. It wasn't designed to ever show up anyone's rainy day fund or fill in any gaps long term. It's kind of a high impact type of funding program.
All right, hang on. I got to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back with talking to City Manager Tim Morales in the city of Saginaw as we broadcast today from the offices of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club.
Are you ready for new flooring but not sure you can afford it? Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors and Frankenmuth. Get new floors at a price you can afford with Mohawk's Spring National Savings Event. Save up to 30% on select top-quality Mohawk products like Smart Strand and Everstrand carpet. Also choose from some of today's most popular laminate wood and luxury vinyl styles. During Mohawk's Spring National Savings Event, you'll get more floor at prices you can't beat. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth will help you bring it all together.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español. Gracias, Babbel. Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to GetRefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW broadcasting from the Saginaw Sheriff's Office on State Street in Saginaw Township. With us is the city manager of the city of Saginaw. He is Tim Morales. Tim, this question comes up often on my program from not only Saginaw, but elsewhere. What are we doing about city streets? The roads come up constantly in discussion. How kind of progress are we making in doing local roads and local streets?
Well, I think it's probably common in a lot of cities, but it's slow and steady for us. We have so many lane miles of road in the city, but we're focusing a lot on the bridges. I'm sure you've noticed we've had one bridge that's closed for a while. We're finishing that up. We have the bridge on Genesee that we'll be doing some more work, finishing up from last year's project. So we're keeping those in order. And we did change the way we do business in the city. Our streets department does a lot of the road repair work and instead of contracting it out, and that allows us to do more lane miles of road versus contracting. We still do contract out a lot of work because those big jobs have to be done by larger crews, but that's allowed us to do more miles. So there's always more work to do and not a lot of money to do it, though.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? And is there state revenue sharing for streets and roads anymore?
Yep, there is Act 51 dollars, which is from the gas and weight tax. Our rate, our allocation in Saginaw has gone down because there is a component related to population, which is why the census is so important and why attracting new people to our city and our region is important, because both state revenue sharing that goes to our general fund and Act 51 dollars have a component related to population.
So let me ask, we had a listener call in here, and they are wondering when Ojibwe Island improvements will start.
I think you'll probably see some of that work starting this summer. So we'll the majority of the work that we need to do that we allocated ARPA funds for are for shoreline restoration. Because if you notice, particularly the west side that's on the river side of Ojibwe Island is very quickly eroding. When we had the floods come through, and even steadily higher river levels have really damaged that shoreline. Previous efforts that were made years ago at shoring up the area have failed. So that's going to be a big project. It's going to be all of $5 to $6 million to do that alone.
Is that only going to address the shoreline?
At this point, that's what we are planning to work on first, because if you don't get that taken care of, you're not going to have half of the island in 20 years. So it's something that's very important. We have been applying for additional grants to work on the roadway there. And also we're looking at possibilities for repairing the stage.
Not replacing, though, just repairing.
Yeah, we're thinking repair at this time. Replacement would probably be a nicer option, but it would be substantially more expensive as well.
And, how long a project are we talking about in terms of the shoreline?
I think we could probably get it done over the summer, but at this point, with getting enough workers, contractors, and supplies has been an issue with all of our projects. So it's tough to guarantee how long something will take these days, and also how much it will cost.
Yeah, supply chain and inflation and all those good things, huh?
Exactly. Yep.
How is the city doing with staffing?
We're always hiring. Particularly we're looking for people in public services, and also for some summer jobs that we need to fill. Even for youth type jobs, our splash pad, which is a summer temporary job, that attendant. If you remember last year, we didn't get enough people to work there, so we had limited hours for that. We'd like to fill all of those positions so we can have those amenities open. And we're also, with all of this construction and ARPA money, we're down in our engineering office. We're looking for an assistant to the engineer too. So it's various types of positions are open in the city, and we're always looking for good individuals for police officers and the fire department as well.
Are those jobs posted someplace that someone can find out more about it online?
Yep, they can go to the city's website and look at our HR department, and they can always stop into the HR office. They have all the listings in there as well.
All right, Tim, well, listen, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for being with us, and we'll chat again down the road.
Sounds good. Thank you, Art.
All right, have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye.
Saginaw City Manager Tim Morales, we thank him for being with us. We're going to take a break. We'll have open phones for the last 10 minutes or so of the hour. So if something you want to chat about, 989-752-6111 is the number to call.
This is Dan Streeter, CEO of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. With Easter behind us, you might think there's nothing much to celebrate right now, but at Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, we keep the hope of Easter alive all year round. A hot meal served with kindness and respect is often the first step to a new life. When you support Rescue Ministries, you help provide life-changing services to neighbors experiencing hunger and homelessness. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. Remember, there's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Let me take a moment to talk to you about my friends at McDonald Ford. I say my friends because I mean that literally. They have been friends of mine for better than 40 years. And now Tom McDonald Jr. and his son Tom III run the McDonald Ford dealership in Freeland on M47. But they want you to know that they are so much more than just a Ford dealer. Obviously, that's their new mark. New cars are Fords. But they have an extensive pre-owned lot that has many, many different kinds of marks on it. As a matter of fact, I was in there yesterday for a couple of minutes. One of the vehicles that caught my eye was a 2020 Dodge Durango SRT with the 392 engine in it. And it looks brand new. It's on their lot. It and all of the other cars on the pre-owned lot have been through a 100-point inspection. And they are backed by a fabulous service department that can handle everything from the smallest of repairs to the most major of repairs. And then across the driveway is the Drive Collision Center for bodywork and Quick Lane Change Center. It's all waiting for you at McDonald Ford. So when you need service, you need collision work, you need an oil change, and you need a new car or a pre-owned car, McDonald Ford is the place to go. Their staff treats you like family because family is everything to the McDonald family. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Don't just like to lawn, love to lawn with the Cub Cadet XT Enduro Series. Head to Wolfow's Ace Hardware, your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer today, and see how the fastest growing lawn tractor is setting the standard for performance and comfort. Cub Cadet is delivering more strength, more versatility, and more durability in one lineup that now features bold new redesigns of the fully electric XT1 and the dealer exclusive XT2. The XT Enduro Series also offers extra tough fabricated and stamped decks, breakthrough cutting and bagging performance, incredibly responsive handling, and an ergonomically designed operator station with an adjustable seat for incredible comfort, all backed by strong warranties and the genuine parts, accessories, and trained service technicians only Wolfow's can provide. For expert advice, superior service, and exceptional offers, visit Wolfow's Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
More of our personal information is online than ever before, which means the internet can be an all-you-can-eat buffet for identity thieves.
Oh, I'm so full. Same. Did you sample the passports? So good. I love how they come with names and birth dates. Right? And that tray of social security numbers. Never got around to it. I filled up on logins and passwords. Oh, yeah. Those are hard to resist.
LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could easily miss by monitoring your credit and bank statements alone. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
All right. Going back in. Thought you were full. Yeah, but I saw some driver's licenses on the dessert table. Ooh, grab me a maiden name while you're up.
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year at LifeLock.com with promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS for 25% off. LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW. Broadcasting from the offices of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. Game 4 of round 2 tomorrow at the Dow. Tickets available. You can stop in the office here, or it's at 6321 State Street, or you can give them a call, 989-497-7747. Bigger the crowd, better it is for the team, and we'd like to see that place sold out with standing room only. So give them a call today and arrange for your tickets. Open phones just for the next 5 minutes or so. So if something you want to talk about, you can give us a call, 989-752-6111. And speaking of sports, it looks to me like the Tigers have figured it out. They swept a doubleheader yesterday against the Guardians. And after their rather dismal start, they seem to have got themselves planted squarely on the turf and doing a good job. Good to see. Good to see the names we expected to perform, like Riley Green and Torkelson and all those guys. We expected big things from them, and they've been delivering. It's a good thing. And I must admit, I was not a fan of the changes in the game, pitch clock and all that. But I've begun to see the light. The pitch clock, they say, is taking about 25 minutes off of every game. And it does speed things up. In observing some of the games, I was amazed. Things moved along. Wasn't as much stalling and walking off the mound and doing all of those things. I mean, they get out there and they pitch. And I kind of like it. I sort of like the bigger bases now because it makes the game a little more exciting. And I'm saying this as a traditionalist. I was one who didn't favor change. I want it the old way, But modern times call for change and modernization. And I think the programs that they've put in place are good for the game. I must admit, I am not a fan of the extra innings starting out with someone on second base. I know it is worked to, for the most part, eliminate the 16, 17, 18, 19 inning games. But by the same token, I'm pretty much a traditionalist when it comes to that. I think that artificially adjusts the game. So that's the one thing I am not a fan of, and that's not new this year because it was around last year. But that particular element of having the runner on second base, I haven't warmed up to that one yet. But the changes this year, I've kind of warmed up to them. Talking to Dan Dickerson yesterday, he too took a while, and then he has warmed up to the point where he likes it now. So, I mean, they're here to stay. There's nothing we can do to change that. That's for sure. But I like the pitch count and keeping the batters in the batter box for the most part. That has had its effect in terms of the game moving along and keeping it interesting. So hats off to the baseball folks that come up with all these ideas. They try them out in the minor leagues and then they bring them up to the majors. And that's what's happened. All right. As I mentioned, we are broadcasting today from the Saginaw Spirit offices at 6321 State Street. And not only will you find wonderful swag in here, all that great Saginaw Spirit merchandise, including the latest things, and they have a playoff hoodie shirt. But this is where you can come for your tickets for tomorrow night's game 4 of round 2 of the playoffs in the Ontario Hockey League, and see all of these youngsters, many of whom will be in the National Hockey League in the years ahead. It's impressive. It is really impressive. And, I'll tell you what, even though the Spirit are down 3-0 in games, I thought they've played the Saginaw Sting fairly evenly. And you have to consider that the Sting are loaded with older, bigger, stronger skaters, but they're not quite as fast as the Spirit. But those 19-year-olds against our 16-year-olds, our 16-year-olds have held their own. They've actually done fairly well. Even though it doesn't show it in the 3-0 lead that Sarnia has in games, I think any fair analysis has to say that Saginaw has purported themselves really well. In talking to former Spirit broadcaster, another broadcaster for the Sarnia Stings, Lee Cunningham, he was saying, really, it's almost men against boys because of the ages of the Sarnia players versus the ages of the Spirit players, and the Spirit are the youngest team in the league. And it was pretty impressive so far. So if you want to be a part of it, get your tickets for tomorrow's game, 7:05 puck drop at the Dow. The more of you in the stands, the better it is for the Spirit because they feed off of that crowd. The crowd is like having an extra player on the ice. All right, we're going to take our last break this hour, and then we will be back to tell you what's ahead.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
All right, that'll do it for this hour of our broadcast from the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club store at 6321 State Street in Saginaw. We got news coming up from CBS. That's the national and international report. And then we will have for you the local report, Michael Percha in the WSGW newsroom. And we'll be back right after that. And when we return, we will talk about Essexville First Robotics. Talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez, the white homeowner in Missouri who shot a black teenager in the head when he mistakenly walked up to his house, is set to be arraigned on assault charges today. Correspondent Adriana Diaz reports from Kansas City.
According to the criminal complaint, Lester told police that he was, quote, scared to death. He says he thought someone was trying to break in and says he saw a black male approximately 6 feet tall trying to open the storm door. Ralph told police he didn't try to open the door. Ralph's aunt told us he is 5'8". And 140 pounds.
Lawmakers in one southern state are doing more to protect the gun industry. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Republican lawmakers in Tennessee have approved a proposal that further protects gun and ammunition dealers, manufacturers, and sellers against lawsuits. The move comes just 3 weeks after a Nashville school shooting killed 6 people, including 3 9-year-olds. A Democratic state senator calls the GOP action, quote, disrespectful timing.
The Supreme Court is on deadline. It has until midnight to decide whether a federal judge in Texas had the legal right to suspend use of the abortion pill mifepristone. Correspondent Jan Crawford.
This case is an effort by a conservative legal group in Texas to restrict access to abortion nationwide, even in states that would otherwise allow it. They're trying to outlaw that abortion pill, saying that the FDA didn't properly approve it more than 20 years ago.
With additional lawsuits pending, our legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says it's just the beginning for Dominion Voting Systems, which has reached a $787 million agreement with Fox News.
Smartmatic $2.7 billion lawsuit, not only against Fox News, against other news people and individuals. They have a blueprint now. They just have to follow the roadmap.
The LA School District has reached a tentative agreement with the teachers union that would raise average teacher salaries to $106,000. School board president Jackie Goldberg tells our affiliate KNX.
This is a good contract. It also reduces class size over time by 2 students. It also provides more pay for nurses so we can finally get some.
A high school math teacher in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rebecca Peterson, has been named this year's Teacher of the Year. This former student congratulated her on CBS Mornings.
Ms. Peterson recognized a love for teaching that I had, but that I didn't recognize, and she sent an email to my mom, unprompted, which was so sweet that my mom was like crying over it, and she kind of guided me and encouraged me to start teaching myself, and showed me the ways that she teaches and gave me advice on how to have compassion for my students, and that has changed my life.
This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and maximum success with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, an evening with James Taylor.
Oh, I've seen fire, I've seen rain.
Friday night, June 23rd, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
How sweet it is to be loved by
Tickets start at $36, on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office and etix.com.
Oh, Mexico, you got a friend.
James Taylor, Under the Stars, June 23rd at Soaring Eagle Casino.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchak. Police have identified a man killed in a crash in Bay County Sunday. 40-year-old Benny Goodman III of Saginaw was driving a 2007 Buick north on I-75 near US 10 around 2:25 a.m. when he stopped in the right lane. His vehicle was struck by a commercial box truck driven by a 62-year-old Livonia man and caught fire. Goodman was unable to escape the vehicle and died at the scene. The truck driver suffered minor injuries. A wind park straddling Saginaw and Midland counties is now online. Meridian Wind Park, owned by DTE Energy, is the state's largest wind park, generating 225 megawatts of power, which is enough to power about 78,000 homes. The $300 million investment has 77 turbines across 3 townships. DTE plans on adding 1,000 megawatts of renewable energy each year to meet its carbon neutral goal by 2050. The Kentucky Derby Party is back to Saginaw for the 8th year, thanks to the Hospitality House of Saginaw. The annual event takes place May 4th at Horizons Conference Center from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $75 and include a Derby-style dinner, open bar, silent auction, and an open invitation to compete as best dressed. Proceeds will support the operation of McNally House and Emerson House. Both locations serve families who have traveled to receive care from Covenant Healthcare or Ascension St. Mary's Hospitals. To buy tickets, visit secure.qgiv.com/events. WSGW News Time 10:07.
The Home Builders Association to the Home and Outdoor Living Expo. Joint event sponsors Horizon Bank and Dow Credit Union, and support sponsor Rent Right. Saturday, April 29th, 9 till 6, and Sunday, April 30th, 11 till 4 at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit indoor and outdoor exhibitors, concessions all weekend, and Family Fun Day sponsored by Lawrence Smith Windows and Doors on Sunday from noon till 3. Hourly giveaways and a chance to win a suite for $20 and a $500 food and drink voucher to a Loons baseball game.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden.
Let's go.
Wheat Farmer.
What am I doing here?
You defeated Evil Dawn and saved your crop quality.
Well, yeah, I used Sphere X fungicide.
Keep your secrets, man.
No secret, just best-in-class Dawn reduction.
So modest. A mighty hero indeed.
Be a hero with Sphere X fungicide from BASF.
Always read and follow label directions.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The 19-year-old man was killed after working on a piece of construction equipment at A&B Rental in Georgetown Township, southwest of Grand Rapids Tuesday. First responders performed CPR on the man, but their efforts were unsuccessful and he died. His name has not yet been released. Wayne County leaders are expressing more frustration about toxic waste. A train derailment site in Ohio to a deep injection well near Detroit Metro Airport in Romulus. A Wayne County committee discussed the issue for about 90 minutes yesterday. At the end of the hearing, Commissioner Tim Killeen of Detroit proposed a work group to find recommendations to try and stop future shipments.
We need to have these sites, but as was said, they have to be closely regulated. And I think given what we hear today, there's not close enough regulations. And I think all of our regulators that are here today would say, yes, give me more tools.
Killeen says more than 200,000 gallons of diluted toxic waste fluid were transported to the deep injection well site in Romulus in late February. The full commission has approved a resolution calling on the state and federal environmental agencies to give advance notice about future toxic waste shipments to the county. A Detroit City Council member wants to make a large portion of downtown a gun-free zone. Councilwoman Mary Waters would like the area to cover Greektown, the Riverfront, Hart Plaza, and Spirit Plaza. Waters says there must be severe consequences for unacceptable behaviors involving guns. She also supports recently instituted curfews in the city. There were 5 shootings in Greektown over the weekend, one that took the life of a security guard. There was also a shooting on the riverfront. WSGW News 10, I'm Mike Percha. Now here is WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Wednesday has a high of 55 degrees, increasing cloud coverage. This is after we start the day with some sun and then just a few scattered rain and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. Our wind much lighter today, only 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, more scattered rain and just a couple of isolated thunderstorms. And then on your Thursday, a high of 74, more spotty rain and thunderstorm chances, but our wind gusts picking back up on Thursday, back to around 30 miles per hour. Friday also has just mainly an AM chance for rain. This is as a cold front clears our area. Friday afternoon looking drier before more chances for rain and snow again into the upcoming weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
37 degrees at WSGW. It's 10:11.
Now, The only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center sponsored the Art Lewis Show. They're right down the street, 789 State Street in Saginaw. Their newly expanded showroom and expanded product lines too, including countertops. More on that later on. We are on the road today to the offices of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club to encourage you to get tickets for tomorrow night's game, round 2 of the Ontario Hockey League playoffs against the Sarnia Sting. More on that later on here on the program, but we are located in their conference room at 6321 State Street. If you're watching on the stream, you see that beautiful mural behind me on the wall and depicting a game in progress. But we're going to talk about a different kind of game to start this hour. Esports and robotics have really taken the forefront in education these days. That is certainly a good thing. And one of the things that's happening is robotics in a big way. And we have a special guest with us this morning from Garber High School, because the Garber High School robotics team is going to the first Robotics World Competition in Houston. And with me this morning is Ethan Shannon. Ethan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you doing?
Hey, we're doing well. So let's start with maybe a little overview of Garber's robotics program. How long has it been in existence, and what does it do?
So we started our program in 2014, and what we try to do is we try and expose kids to STEM and engineering in a way that kind of captures their attention and captures their imagination through competition with other schools. Our goal is to try and push as many kids as we possibly can into those kind of fields, so they end up with degrees and jobs that'll be very good for them the rest of their life and bring talent and support and economic vitality back to our region as well. So our particular competition, every year we are tasked with building about a 5-foot-tall, 160-pound robot that competes on a field the size of a basketball court, and it's got to do different kinds of tasks in a 2.5-minute game where we play with other schools and against other schools. It's fast, it's exciting, and it takes a lot of smarts and a lot of hard work by the kids. It's not uncommon for our kids to work 35, 40 hours a week outside of the normal school day to make this kind of thing happen. And the fact that we're sitting here in Houston again for, I think this is every year since 2018 now that we've qualified to come down here, it's just really a testament to how hard our kids work and the kind of time and effort that they put in. I couldn't be prouder of everything that they've done.
Actually, when you think about it too, Ethan, this region is a hotspot for robotics because Hemlock High School and Freeland Middle High are also involved in the first robotics competition in Houston. So let's talk for a minute here. I mean, you're building a robotics device. There's no small feat. I mean, you're talking about 160 pounds, 5 feet tall. Where do all the materials come from? Who pays for all that?
So our team is completely funded by grants and donations. We run a budget of about $85,000 to $100,000 a year, and a lot of that is our entry fees to actually play in these tournaments and travel costs. But our robot's pretty significant as well. Our robot is about $10,000 from top to bottom what it costs. And the thing about these competitions is you can't go out and compete with just the robot that you have because it's a pretty violent game. Those robots are running into each other at 25 miles an hour and things break. So we have to have almost a completely second robot sitting in our work area back in a secondary gym, where when something does bust, we can go back and we can fix it and get it ready. And that for the kids is some of the most challenging parts of this. Is they've spent 6 weeks putting this thing together, and something broke, and now we've got 10 minutes until our next match, and we got to figure out how to do 6 weeks worth of work over again in 10 minutes to get it back out and running in time. A lot of the parts that we get for these guys, some of them are over the shelf that are made by different companies that cater to high school robotics, but a vast majority of what we build is handmade in the shop. So the kids get to not only design things through CAD, but they also get to actually produce these things by hand in the lab too. And then there's all kinds of other different components of this competition as well. We have public speaking, we have community service, we have business. There's the whole idea of scouting and analytics for other teams that goes into how we're going to play against a team or how we're going to play with a team. No matter what kids do, they can find a place with us that eventually they're going to be able to pursue a career, pursue a job, pursue an education later on. It's really the best program available for kids at this level.
I think we need to, maybe define the robot itself, robotics, because some of us may be familiar with TV series BattleBots, where they go after each other and try and destroy each other. What do your robots do? What are you tasked with? What do you have to prove?
So this year, well, let's go back to the BattleBot thing. That's the most common thing that people think about when they hear high school robotics, is that we try and beat each other up. And there's actually penalties for beating each other up, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen on occasion during a match. So this year, our robot was tasked with picking up 2 very different kinds of game pieces. One of them is a traffic cone that's about 18 inches high, and that traffic cone is very squishy. It moves when you grab onto it. So that presented kind of a unique challenge, and it's an odd shape. So you can't pick, you can pick it up in one orientation, and you try and pick it up in a different one. It becomes very difficult for that machine to pick it up in multiple ways. And then the other one was this inflatable plastic cube that almost acted like a ball when you picked it up and would roll around. So we have these 2 very different things that weigh 2 different amounts that react in different ways, and you've got to find a way to create a mechanism to grab onto both of them securely. And then when you bring them back across the field to score them, the cones have to hang on poles that are sticking up out of the ground at varying heights and varying distances from the robot. The farthest one was 4 feet tall and then 4 feet away from the robot where you could go based on the boundaries. So your robot was as high and extended so far out that you had to worry about tipping over, and that was a real engineering concern for us. And then you had to do the same things with these blow-up cubes that weighed almost nothing and would bounce around if you shot them out too difficult. It was a very interesting challenge this year with the 2 different kinds of game pieces.
So, Ethan, are there companies that provide schematics and drawings on these robots, or do you start with a blank piece of paper? Because, I mean, some of this is high engineering. It's not something that an amateur can do on their own.
So there's a couple companies that put out kind of like base models for you to give you ideas. And there's a lot of college teams that try and design one of these things and build it in 3 days, that put their materials out on the internet. But for the most part, those are just ideas. Most of them aren't legal to use in the game. Most of them are built with things that you don't have access to. So you take the first couple of days and you look at those things trying to see what other people are thinking. But in the end, you have to design the whole thing from scratch, and then you have to build the entire thing from scratch. The only real limitations that we have is we have to use their computer system, their electrical system, and then we get a list of about 20 motors that we can use. But then after that, everything is custom made in our own shop.
All right, hang on. I've got to take a break, and I hear you may have a student with you. We'll find out when we return. Here on WSGW, as we broadcast from the Saginaw Spirit hockey team's office at 6321 State Street. Big game tomorrow for the Spirit. Tickets are available. We'll be telling you more about that as we go on. But We'll take a break, and then we will be back with more. And before we take that break, let's see if we can give away some money. Time for WSW's Baseball Bucks, brought to you by Westside Decorating Center. We will give you a baseball word, which you will enter online for a chance to win $1,000 cash. The word this hour is lose. You hate to lose the game, LOSE. This is a Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be enrolled in the play. Complete details and rules at WSBW.com. Baseball Bucks brought to you by Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. We will be right back.
Attention Saginaw County veterans and families. YMCA of Saginaw is home to the new Saginaw County Veterans Service Office and Michigan Veterans Trust Fund. The Veterans Office assists those who have served in helping receive benefits such as medical, pension, disability, transportation, emergency relief, death benefits, family support, and more. Visit the Y, located at 1915 40 Street, and learn about the resources available to help live your best life. Open Monday through Friday, noon to 4. Court appointment, call 989-753-7721, extension 0.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened lower. Investors are looking at mixed earnings news. Morgan Stanley's quarter was weaker than a year ago as it saw demand decline for its investment banking and trading. Its business held up better than forecast, though the stock opened down nearly 3%. Western Alliance Bancorp says deposits have stabilized after nervous customers pulled money during the March turmoil. U.S. Bancorp's quarter top predictions. Citizens Financial reported a weaker than expected quarter, but it is seeing deposits stabilize. Netflix added fewer new subscribers in the quarter than it did in the pandemic, though it's ready to crack down on password sharing, and it isn't losing many subscribers to its cheaper ad-supported service. The stock opened lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and to preserve your wealth, I highly recommend keeping physical gold in your retirement account. To learn more, text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold, which is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text SHELTER to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9 right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, coming to you from the Saginaw Spirit offices. And we are talking to Ethan Shannon, who is with the Garber Robotics.
Are you ready for new flooring but not sure you can afford it? Hi, this is Mary Ann.
Just a minute, folks. There we go. Thank you, station. I have a very sensitive computer, and I left home one of the pieces I needed for it today. So every time I touch it, something else happens, it seems. I should join the robotics team and learn about this technological stuff. Ethan Shannon's with us down in Houston for the first Robotics World Competition. Ethan, do you have a student with you this morning?
I do. His name is Carter Davis, and he's a junior on our team. He's been with us for a couple of years, and he is our lead statistician and analytics for compiling data about other teams to help us during competitions. And he's also in charge of writing all of the autonomous programs for the robot because we're a pretty small team. Most of our kids wear multiple hats, and he's one of the big players I have on our team this year.
So, and what's your name again? I'm sorry.
I'm Carter Davis.
I'm sorry?
Carter Davis.
Okay. And so let me ask first, what drew you to robotics?
Well, I was approached by our lead mentor, Mr. Shannon, during my sophomore year, and he said, I think that this would be something that's good for you. I can tell that you're interested in STEM, and I know that this would be beneficial for you down the line. It's an excellent atmosphere. Everything, the people that you get to meet, and everything that you'll learn through this program will really help you later in your life. And that was sort of the flashpoint for me.
Now you're doing statistics and analytics, and that's a numbers game. Were you a big numbers guy going in?
Yes, absolutely. Mathematics is one of my favorite subjects. Next year, I'm, as a senior, going to be taking calculus, and that is something that I think is really cool about robotics. I get to look at all the numbers and compare different teams. I collect data with my analytics team, and we import all of this into a spreadsheet where I'm able to see, oh, this is how this team's been doing. We look at how many points each team's scoring and how they're scoring them, as well as different things like the robot's dimensions, and then sometimes even the sort of the personality of the different drive teams can play into where we'll rank them.
It's interesting that you're doing analytics. I'm sitting here in the office of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club, and in hockey, particularly in the OHL, analytics have become very, very important. A coach can look at analytics and know that if they set up this particular play, it'll score on 28% of the time, and if they do something else, it'll score at 62%. And there's probably a lot of that in what you're doing too. If you maneuver your robot this way, this is what happens. Is that the kind of thing you're learning?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will definitely look at other teams' capabilities and use that to develop strategies throughout the day. One of the things that we wanted to start this year is having data on the very first day of competition that we can then use throughout the qualification matches. And so we're now working on getting that to update in real time, so that our drive team is able to make informed decisions about how they should play the game.
So what's your future? What do you want to study when you go to college, and what's your end game for a career?
I would like to go into chemical engineering, and I'm planning on attending Michigan Technological University.
Very, very good. I relate to what you're saying because that's what I did. So I didn't go to that school. The course of study was the same. We wish you well with it.
Thank you.
So Ethan, let me ask you about this first robotics competition. What's the order of things, and how have you done in the past?
So, if we're talking the past year, we've actually done really well. In order to get to Houston, you have to play two, it's called district competitions. And then you have to qualify for states. And at our district competitions, we were runners up at the Standish invite. We lost to team 503 from Lake Orion. I think they finished like second or third in the state as far as rankings go. And then we won the Midland competition. Two very, very good teams there with Freeland and Hemlock. I can't say enough about both of them. They're just fantastic teams to work with, great competitors. We were very fortunate to get out of that competition with a win. And then we went to, or qualified for our state meet, and we had to perform there as well. That was at Saginaw Valley, and there were 160 teams from across the state there. And we finished after that competition ranked 37th in the state, I believe, out of 488 teams. And the top 82, about the top 15% or so, got invited to go to this world competition again.
How big is this world competition? How many teams are we talking about?
So there are 8 fields at Worlds this year, and each of those fields has 85 teams on it. Wow. So we're looking at over 600 teams from across the world, and we really do have teams from across the world. In our pool alone, we have teams from Turkey, teams from Israel, teams from Australia. I think there's a team from China. If you can name a country and a continent, there's a team here from it. We have teams here everywhere except for Antarctica. There's a team here from somewhere.
And so what's competition like? Have you already begun competing?
So today is our load-in day, and the rest of our team is currently unloading our stuff at the arena as we speak. We're going to go over there and help them when we're all done. And then we would have practice matches. We would measure the field in case we have to adjust our programming for small differences in dimensions, play practice matches with our drivers to kind of get them calmed down. That's all today. And then tomorrow is competition all day long. Friday is competition all day long. And then at the end of Friday, they select teams for the elimination matches for the championship. We have never played in that before. We've been really close. 2 years ago, we were the highest ranked team not to make it into the elimination finals. We're really hoping to break through and take that next step. And when we talk about elimination finals, we're talking about 24 teams per field. So you're talking about the top 2% of all teams in the world get to play in those eliminations. And that's what we're trying to get into this year.
Fantastic. Well, these programs have really put STEM education to the forefront. And I would have to say robotics education is one of the growing educational fields. Would you agree?
I think so. The whole goal of this kind of process is we want kids to look at people like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Dean Kamen, these wonderful inventors that have done things to improve human life, and we want them to hold those people in as high a regard as we do athletes like Michael Jordan or any other great athlete that kids idolize today. We want them to view those inventors and those engineers in the same kind of sense. And that's happening right now. That's changing. You see more of those people in the news than ever before.
I am so glad to hear you say that, because I have said for years and years and years that we sometimes put the wrong people on the pedestals. And I really think that this thrust in STEM education is something that was long overdue. I wish you well. Hope the team does well. And if you make it into the finals, maybe we can check in again just to see how you're doing.
That would be great, Art. We'd love to talk to you at any point.
All right, Ethan, thanks for joining us, and good luck in the competition.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Ethan Shannon, one of the mentors for the Garber High School robotics program at the first robotics world competition in Houston. And we certainly wish them the best in their quest for success. We'll take a break, come back. We'll chat with the president and managing partner of the Saginaw Spirit when we return.
Are you ready for new flooring but not sure you can afford it? Hi, this is Marianne from Warden Interiors and Frankenmuth. Get new floors at a price you can afford with Mohawk's Spring National Savings Event. Save up to 30% on select top-quality Mohawk products like Smart Strand and Everstrand carpet. Also choose from some of today's most popular laminate wood and luxury vinyl styles. During Mohawk's Spring National Savings Event, you'll get more floor at prices you can't beat. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth will help you bring it all together.
This is your captain. Better buckle your seatbelts for this one. I saw my passport expired, so I went to Staples, got a passport photo lickety-split. While I was there, I grabbed some tiny travel soap and shampoo. Yeah, feeling fresh as a daisy.
Staples has everything for travel. 10-minute passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel items. And now at Staples, get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Plus, travel-size Purell hand sanitizer is just 49 cents. Get all set to jet at Staples. Offers end 4/22. In-store only. Exclusions apply.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
When you order food for work on EasyCater.com, we've got your back. Real humans are here to help with your order every step of the way, making sure everything goes right, even behind the scenes without you knowing, confirming and double confirming with the restaurant that everything is on track. If there's a problem, thanks for calling EasyCater. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll answer in seconds. We're right here with 100,000 restaurants, working hard to ensure the food arrives on time and is ordered. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/bed. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/bed.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW, and we are located at the offices of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. Round 2 of the original playoffs taking place, and Game 4 in this round 2 is tomorrow night at the Dow. More fans in the stands, the better it is for the Saginaw Spirit, and we'd like to see you fill it up. You can give them a call at 989-497-7747. SaginawSpirit.com, or stop into the office here at 6321 State Street in Saginaw Township. And with me right now is the president and managing partner of the Spirit and the man responsible in most ways for bringing the Memorial Cup to Saginaw next year. He is Craig Goslin. Goose, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
You're smiling from ear to ear.
We are. Even though we're down 3-0 in the series, the kids have played really hard and really hard.
They have.
We could have won it. We could be up 3-0. I mean, with 10 minutes to go in all these games, we were right there in the game, tied. Other than the one game, and of course the one game we took to overtime. And last night's game looked like it was heading overtime as well. So the kids have competed really hard. Series is not over. It takes 4 wins to win a series. They've got 3. And we just got to nibble away now. And I'm confident our kids will compete. They'll compete hard.
The other thing, and I think that, and I was talking to our buddy Lee Cunningham when we were over in Sarnia.
Isn't he a beauty? Yeah.
Yeah. He really is.
Just love him. Yeah.
And, but he was saying, he says, realistically, this is men against boys.
Yeah.
Because of the age and strength and size of their team versus our team.
Yeah.
But they've they've purported themselves very well.
Well, Sarnia has the most depth of any team in our league, in the OHL for sure. There's 20 teams in the league at the deadline, so your listeners can understand the dynamic of our league. Trade deadline is January 10th. Sarnia added 3 NHL caliber players to their lineup that are 19 years old. So that's that's a big part. We did not do that. We moved a player out. We had confidence in the kids that are on our team that they're going to continue to develop and be a really good team, and that's what happened. And of course, we were positioning ourselves for the Memorial Cup and hoping to win that bid. And so our focus is not necessarily just totally on next year. We still feel this year's team. We're down 3-0, but they're going to continue to compete. Guelph was also down 3-0, by the way, in the first round.
That's right. And they won.
Yeah. Now we're in the conference semifinals, and we're down 3-0. Guelph came back in that series, by the way, won the next 2 games, and then in game 6, they actually had a lead in that game, and Sarnia came back in the last few minutes to win game 6. But it doesn't. It's been done once to them already, and quite frankly, Sarnia in their 30-some year history has never been out of the conference semifinals ever.
Yeah, of course, they're hungry for it.
Yeah,
they are hungry.
They are hungry, but the truth of the matter is they've never been out of there, and that you know what, that to put that nail in the coffin for them is not going to be all that easy, and we're going to make it real tough on them.
That's good.
Yeah,
and I talked about the fact that the people in the stands make a difference, don't they?
Oh, well, they're our sixth skater. I mean, our players will tell you that. The coaches will tell you that. I mean, the energy that our fans have given the players on the ice this year is unbelievable. And winning that series against Flint, our fans get a major assist in winning that series. And certainly the building, the louder the building, the more the players feel and feed off that energy. For sure.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been with the team since the beginning. I don't remember an attendance year quite like this. It seems to me that our averages were higher.
No, we have a record. We got records all across the table.
We did this year.
Right? No, we have record attendance, record ticket sales, record corporate sponsorship sales. When you look at the team on the ice, records all over the place this year on the ice with these kids. And this is an exciting time. It's a 19-year-old league. You know that. A lot of your listeners may not understand that, but it's a 19-year-old league. Our players are 16 to 20 years old. And so you only get 3 20-year-olds. And so the strength of your team is typically in the quality of your 19-year-old players. All right. Well, our average age is 17. Right. So this tick over 17. So we got a lot of young players that are coming up the ranks that are really, really talented. And Mitchell Smith, one of our overagers, Tristan Lennox, another overager, they're not going to be part of the team next year, but they help lay the foundation for what's going to be a Memorial Cup potential champion next year. So the Mitchell has been incredible. The Saginaw kid. The leadership, he's our captain, the things that he's done to create the energy, not just with the team, but also with the fan base has been incredible. What a great leader. What a great kid.
All right. I want to take just a couple of moments out here to take a quick break, come back, talk a little bit about the Memorial Cup and some of the changes that are going to be made in the Dow, which were approved last night.
They were.
Including my elevator. Thank you very much.
There's an elevator going in, 100%. Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show, broadcasting from the Saginaw Spirit offices.
It's a sting operation. Carry out the mission to nab some cash at Saginaw Eagles Landing. Every Friday in April, come out for hourly drawings from 5 to 10 p.m. for the chance to carry out your sting operation and grab as many envelopes as you can. Collect the prizes inside and win up to $250 cash. So seize the excitement of Sting Operation, only at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
Now we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Low Show. State Street, talking to the president and managing partner of the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. He is Craig Goslin. I know it's been talked about before, but the Memorial Cup has been awarded to Saginaw for 2024. Explain to people just how important this cup is, particularly to Canada.
Well, this is Canada's national championship, and when you say that it's been awarded to Saginaw for 2024, it warms my heart, brings a big smile to my face. An incredible achievement by so many people. There were over 60 people that helped me put the bid together, and including yourself, Art, that were really instrumental in helping us get this. But this is Canada's national championship. This is like the NCAA Final Four in basketball. So, we've got this coming to Saginaw. It's going to be 13 to 14 days of activity, May 23rd through June the 2nd or 3rd of 2024. So it's not this spring, it's next spring. And, and Frankenmuth will be our hub. And there's going to be a fan fest down at the Joe Credit Union Event Park that's going to be there for every day of the Memorial Cup. So, families will come to Riverfront Saginaw. Maybe not even go to the game, but they'll just attend the fan fest, and different activities are going to be down there. Concerts, a number of different activities down there are going to be planned. Just going to be an amazing opportunity to showcase the Great Lakes Bay region and all the good things that we've got going on here with Loons baseball and the Bay City Riverfront and so many other things that really exemplify the coolness that is the Great Lakes Bay region.
One of the things that had to happen was a commitment on some restructuring at the Dow Event Center.
Yes.
What's going to happen there?
Well, first off, thank you to the county commissioners, the Saginaw County, Robert Bellerman, the county controller, Chris Boyd, the chairman of the board of the county commissioners. Without their approval and their support, we don't get the Memorial Cup. This is $25 million of economic growth and activity that's going to come to our region in the Saginaw County mainly, right? And if they had not approved the upgrades, we wouldn't be able to bid on the Memorial Cup. The Memorial Cup committee, the site selection committee, identified the things in our building that need to be done to be upgraded. Art, and you're there all the time. You know what it is in order to even bid on this. So we had to get assurances that we were going to get this work done. One of them was certainly the visitors' dressing rooms. They haven't been touched since the building was new. Yes, the building was new. So all that's getting redone. We're getting suites. You have to have suites in order to host an event like this. So we're actually turning the areas that we've got now into bona fide suites. Which is not just going to be good for concerts, for hockey games, but it's good for concerts and all the other activities that are going on at the Dow, and a number of other areas that are going to be spruced up at the Dow Event Center. An elevator going in, big deal. Yeah. So
I was thrilled to hear that.
Yeah, we've got to have an elevator, and certainly that's going to be going in as well to get us up into the suite area.
And the other thing about it, I think that's the most impressive, really, not a penny of any additional tax.
No. Well, this goes down to how well the Dow Event Center is being managed by the ASM Global and also by the county, and they've been able to ensure that they can put some money aside to upgrade the facility when needed, and it's needed now. This is an opportunity. The Joel Credit Union Event Park, all these things are going to come together. All the work that they've done to professionally manage that facility is helping us to be able to do this work. So,
and if that's not enough, Friday night is draft night.
Yeah,
here we go again.
Yeah, no, Dave Drinkle, our general manager, and his scouting staff, and really, you look at any sport, Art, and I know your listeners will appreciate this. It's really at the end of the day, it's about scouting. I mean, and scouting, coaching, and development. Those are the three things. You got to have good scouts. You got to have great coaches. You got to have great development program. And if you can do those three things, you'll create a champion. I think that's one of the challenges the Lions have had for a number of years. Now they've got it, right?
They do.
Now they got ownership that's doing their job. I know that we were advised when we bought the franchise, Dick Garber and myself and Brandon Bordeaux and the like, that owners own, managers manage, coaches coach, right? And that's where the Lions had a little issue there. They had ownership that they wanted to manage and even coach, right? And we are so functional with the Saginaw Spirit, where the owners own, the managers manage, coaches coach, and we've got an incredible scouting staff. And Dave Drinkle, Brian Prout, and their staff, total confidence in their job. Proof is in the pudding of the job that they've done with scouting, and they're getting players 4th, 5th, 7th round that are making major contributions.
And people don't realize how big a behind-the-scenes staff it takes to run that team.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're going to see the scouting staff this weekend. They're all going to be in town this week for the draft, and the draft is done online. So each team goes into their home communities. They have a draft room, and we would huddle around that draft room. They got their. By now, they've already got the draft all figured out. Our guys do. They know likely who's going to be. They'll get the 16th pick in the first round. They likely know who's going to be there, and they can do a mock draft. They do several mock drafts to prepare for what's coming up this week. So it's an exciting time.
And I know they bring in prospects to look at the facility and everything, and we've seen a parade of those over the months.
Well, the beautiful thing about the work that Dave Drinkle and his staff have done too is put ourselves on the map in a big time way when it comes to top prospects, and the agents want to send their player to Saginaw.
This has become a destination.
This is one of the top destinations in the Canadian Hockey League. So now they see players come here and develop and turn into pros. They see players come here and develop and turn into professionals. They or to pick a trade of their choice. And they're seeing all that happen with these young student athletes that they leave here and they have success. And that's what it's all about. It's not just about hockey. It's about developing these young men into good people. Some of them, the hockey is not going to be their future.
Yeah.
And we have to ensure that we're putting these kids in a position where we, educate them on those things and keep their education program going.
A lot of the people know Dick Garber, obviously the owner, know you as the president and managing partner, but maybe they're not as familiar with Dave Drinkle and Chris Lazary.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes they don't get the recognition they deserve. So first, let's start with Dave, the general manager of the team, and his responsibilities.
Incredibly talented, for number one. All right. He's got an unbelievable eye. All right. So he can see things that a lot of scouts can't. And that's proof in the pudding. The kid like Dean Locus got him in the 15th round of the draft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was one of our leading scorers. Could be our leading scorer next year. He's an incredible, talented guy, high end character. And one of the things that Dick and I and Brandon do and assure is that we ask Dave and his staff, the only area we get involved is we want players with talent and character. They got to have them both, or they don't wear the Spirit crest.
Yeah.
Right. Our brand doesn't go on. Kids don't have character.
Right.
And that room is full of character. And Mitchell Smith is a great example of that. Tristan Lennox, these guys that are overagers, have been through our program for 4 years. Great character kids. You'd want them to marry your daughter. That kind of kid.
That's right.
And so I mean that's the work that Dave Drinkle does is not just he finds talent, but he also finds those kids with character, and he fills the room full of those kids. And then just an amazing talented guy. And Chris Lazary, he's a coach to the core. He is he
lives and breathes and drinks it.
I guarantee you right now he's watching video, right? And nobody will outwork Chris Lazary, right? And an incredible coach. He's tough for sure on the kids. There's no doubt about that. He holds them accountable, but he also has that gift to where he can hold them accountable. Then he puts his arm around them and tells them he loves them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a skill. And he's got that with the players.
There's something else about Chris. It's the thing I admire most in him. I admire him as a coach. I have great respect for him. But I watch him with his daughters when they're in the seats and he comes off the ice, when he's around those two beautiful little girls. He's a father's father.
He's an incredible dad. We're so proud of him of the way he is. He is because it wasn't easy for him growing up. And in his story, he'll tell you his story. But bottom line is that he's an amazing dad. And he didn't have that growing up, and he's another high character person, and it's the way the franchise is put together we're very, very proud of Chris Lazary and the person that he is and the coach that he is on the ice.
And the scouts and there's an equipment manager, there's a strength and conditioning coach, there's a goaltending and video coach. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Health and wellness,
and that has nothing to do with the game day staff.
No. nutritionist, team chiropractor, all the team docs. There's 5 of those that Dr. Lance Freeman is in charge of. But yeah, it's an extensive group of professionals that manage the goings on of the hockey operations of the Saginaw Spirit.
Do all of the OHL teams have that kind of staff and that size staff?
They do now. What's happening is a number of franchises have gone after the model that we have here, and there's a couple other franchises that do that as well. But in order to compete, they have to, right? So they see what's happening in development programs like Saginaw, Kitchener, right, and Windsor, right? They do great jobs. Flint now is doing an outstanding job developing their players. They've done a great job at Flint. So now the other teams, if they want to compete, they have to, and it's the best development league in the world. There's not a better development league in our game in the world, and it shows on how we treat the players and the surroundings, the way the development opportunities both on and off the ice for our players is extraordinary.
All right. I understand there's a hockey game tomorrow night. If we want to fill those stands, how do people get tickets?
Well, we have tickets available. There's I think we got about 3,000 sold right now. We want to get up to 5,000. But the Saginaw Spirit store, we're open today, 6321 State Street. Come on in and see us. Or you can go online, saginawspirit.com. It's an easy way to do it. Get them through Ticketmaster. You can download it right to your mobile device. Or you can call in at 497-7747 and or order them over the phone. And that way too, there's no Ticketmaster fee. But anyways, it's there's a number of ways to get tickets, or you can just go to the box office. There'll be tickets at the box office at the game on Thursday night.
And when do you anticipate Memorial Cup tickets going on sale?
That's a great question.
You almost have to get them ahead of time.
Yeah, we're working on it with the CHL right now, because typically this Memorial Cup this year is in Kamloops, British Columbia, and usually we don't start selling tickets for the next Memorial Cup until that one is over. Well, I'm trying to change that. Because they're sold out in Kamloops. All their games are sold out.
Well, so you're not going to take anything away from them.
We've talked to them. They don't care. They don't want to. It said, go ahead. It said, Goose, go ahead, start selling tickets. So hopefully we're going to get their approval here in the next week or so. And our season ticket holders are obviously going to get first priority. And then from there, they'll go to the general public.
All right, Goose.
Thanks, Art.
All right.
Come on out and see us. Go Spirit.
Go Spirit. And we will take a quick break, come back and close out this hour, tell you what's ahead on Focus. You know, a 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan. And we will be right back.
Here comes summer. Time to hit the beach or beat the heat in the mountains.
We're taking the kids to the beach for the first time. We're so excited.
We're doing whitewater rafting this year. It looks like so much fun.
No matter the destination, MBS International Airport is ready for takeoff. With services through Delta and United Airlines, you will feel upgraded as soon as you walk through the door. Book your flight today at mbsairport.org, and we'll help you make it a summer to remember.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kafin. The Supreme Court's expected to decide today whether a medication used in about half of all abortions should stay on the market while an appeals battle over restrictions on it plays out. CBS's Jan Crawford.
This case is directly at odds with conservative legal principles, especially on the issue of standing and whether these challengers even have a right to be in court in the first place. And if the court lowers the bar in this case and just throws open the courthouse doors to anyone who's upset about any social issue, you're going to see groups across the country going into court asking the judges to get involved in other social issues. And that is exactly the opposite of what these conservative justices here at this Supreme Court said should be the role of federal judges.
There's a preliminary court hearing today in the case of a Massachusetts Air National Guardsman who's charged with leaking highly classified military documents. But CBS's Catherine Herridge tells us the matter of his detention will not be dealt with.
The defendant, Jack Teixeira, asked the court for a 2-week extension to consider the government's request for continued detention, and the judge has just agreed to that 2-week extension. It's not unusual in a complex case like this that both parties want more time, in the case of the Justice Department, to build and consolidate their arguments for pretrial detention, and for Teixeira and his public defenders to review the evidence against him.
There's a Kansas City court hearing today for the 84-year-old white man facing felony charges for shooting a black teenager who went to his house by mistake. The attorney for the 16-year-old's family, Lee Merritt.
Our biggest concern is that this man never walks the street again. The charges that he has, if successfully convicted, will lead to life in prison.
Court records indicate Alan Weisselberg, the former Trump Organization chief financial officer who pleaded guilty to tax fraud, was released from jail today after 108 days. A solemn ceremony this morning in Oklahoma City to mark the 1995 federal building bombing that killed 168 people. The National Teacher of the Year has been named.
Rebecca Peterson is a math teacher at Union High in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I just can't think of any other profession where people don't just think about us, but literally hold us in their hearts.
Rebecca was chosen for making math exciting, relevant, and accessible. Former students surprised her on CBS Mornings.
Ms. Peterson recognized a love for teaching that I had, but that I didn't recognize. And she kind of guided me and encouraged me to start teaching myself.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 77 points, NASDAQ down 36. This is CBS News.
Streamline how you hire with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is Dan Streeter, CEO of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. With Easter behind us, you might think there's nothing much to celebrate right now, but at Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, we keep the hope of Easter alive all year round. A hot meal served with kindness and respect is often the first step to a new life. When you support Rescue Ministries, you help provide life-changing services to neighbors experiencing hunger and homelessness. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. Remember, there's no place like home unless you don't have one.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 39 degrees at
11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A 54-year-old Isabella County man is in jail after authorities say they found a woman's body in his home. According to the Isabella County Sheriff's Department, deputies went to the residence in the 1000 block of West Baseline Road to check on the 67-year-old woman after relatives said they hadn't heard from her in 2 years. The man met deputies, allegedly telling them she didn't live there anymore. He was arrested on an outstanding and unrelated warrant. The Sheriff's Department obtained a search warrant for the home and says they found the woman's body inside. She had been dead for an unknown amount of time. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine the cause of death. The man remains in jail on prior charges, in addition to charges of fraudulent activity and failure to report a death. A St. Louis teen is missing, and police are asking for the public's help locating him. 14-year-old Jalen Winters was last seen wearing a blue Detroit Lions number 21 jersey with the name Bush on the back, gray sweatpants, a black hat, and purple and orange shoes with his initials on them. Jalen is 5 feet tall, 125 pounds, with short brown hair and brown eyes. Police say he ran away from home and believe he may be in the Mount Pleasant or Midland areas. Anyone with information about Jalen's whereabouts is asked to call 989-875-7505. In efforts to continue open communication between residents, State Representative Bill G. Schuette of Midland has made a commitment to listen to the constituents of the 95th House District. The Ask Bill G. event is April 24th from 2 to 3 at Jerome Township Hall at 737 West Beamish Road in Sanford. It will continue at 3:30 to 4:40 at the Beaverton Activities Center at 106 Tonkin Street in Beaverton. The representative will answer questions and listen to community concerns. WS time 11:07.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A 37-year-old West Michigan man serving life in prison for killing his mother and 2 sisters when he was 17 will be resentenced in June. Judge Mark Trusak ruled that John Ciesling will be sentenced to a term of years since the U.S. Supreme Court ruled mandatory life sentences for those 17 and younger is unconstitutional. Ciesling was convicted of killing his mother and his 15 and 6-year-old sisters in their Walker home in 2003. Ciesling's attorney, Tina Olson, says she appreciates the judge's decision, while prosecutor Chris Becker says he will push for the maximum sentence allowed due to the nature of the crime.
Wednesday has a high of 55.
Air quality data shows Michigan is improving in some areas but falling behind in others. Director for Advocacy for the American Lung Association, Ken Fletcher, noted the state is tracking in the right direction.
Well, definitely we saw some improvement in ozone pollution. We saw fewer days overall where there were unhealthy days with ozone pollution, and the Metro Detroit area actually fell out of the 25 top polluted areas in the country for ozone pollution.
However, there were also increases in short-term particle pollution. Some areas, like in Allegan County, could be getting a failing grade because of ozone pollution traveling across Lake Michigan from Chicago. Fletcher says the state is getting better, but still has a long way to go. The senior at Kalamazoo Central High School, Alyssa Douglas, has filed a complaint against the Kalamazoo Public Schools with the U.S. Department of Education, alleging the district did nothing after she and her service dog faced bullying. WOOD-TV reports she and the dog were upset when a group of boys at school harassed them in 2021. She filed a report with the assistant principal and says instead of disciplining the boys, they had her and the dog eat lunch in the office. Her family asked for mediation to work together, but as say administrators refused. WSGW News Time 11:10. Here's WNEM's First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Wednesday has a high of 55 degrees, increasing cloud coverage. This is after we start the day with some sun and then just a few scattered rain and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. Our wind much lighter today, only 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, more scattered rain and just a couple of isolated thunderstorms. And then on your Thursday, a high of 74, more spotty rain and thunderstorm chances, but our wind gusts picking back up on Thursday, back to around 30 miles per hour. Friday also has just mainly an AM chance for rain. This is as a cold front clears our area. Friday afternoon looking drier before more chances for rain and snow again into the upcoming weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Current temperature is 40 degrees at WSGW.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And a good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus, brought to you by RoofMax and 2X. You can find out more online at getroofmax.com, or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, the safe, affordable, and easy alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. We are going to talk on Focus about a fundraiser for the Lions Club, and we will find out more about that as we welcome our guest today, Terry Claremont. Tammy, good morning. It's Tammy, right?
Good morning.
Yes.
It's Tammy. Yes. Good morning. How are you?
We're fine. So, Tammy, let's start out by what club do you represent in the Lions?
I represent the Bay City Lions Club, one of the largest Lions clubs in the entire state of Michigan.
How old is the club?
Just over 100 years, actually.
Oh, wow. Been around a while. So
it has.
One of the things that the Lions Club has always been focused on, if I remember correctly, is vision. Is that not true?
Yes. 2 of our biggest areas where I'd say we are most passionate about is anyone struggling with vision or hearing needs. We are the founder of the Leader Dogs for the Blind, Lions Club International as a whole. So we do a lot for people that are struggling with vision and hearing needs. We do things such as pay for eye exams or hearing exams. We recycle eyeglasses, help people to get new eyeglasses. We recycle hearing aids and help people get new hearing aids. But then we also do additional things, if necessary, like surgery.
And all of this, of course, takes money. So how are you raising the funds?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, all of this takes money. I mean, we do have some community partners, some physicians that will give us exams at cost, but like you said, everything else costs money. So we are about to embark on our largest and one and only fundraiser for the entire year, and that's this Friday and Saturday in Bay City, where we stand on the corner or we're outside of the doors at your local 7-Eleven, and we ask for donations, and we give people tags in exchange for that say they help to support us and help someone have the ability to see.
So this is taking place when?
This Friday and Saturday. Just throughout the streets in Bay City. Our volunteers will be out there handing out tags that have our logo on it and says, I support the Lions Club, and then we just ask for donations in exchange for that.
So the Lions Club of Bay City, you mentioned, is one of the largest. How many members do you have?
We are just shy of 200 members, but like most other service organizations, we're kind of aging, so standing out on a street corner for a whole day is a little bit challenging for our club. So we've been reaching out to businesses in our area, asking other community partners to help us in our fundraising endeavors. by making some sort of donation ahead of time. But yeah, the bulk of what we do is standing out on the street corners and just trying to reach average Joe and ask for a donation.
How are service organizations like the Lions doing with attracting younger and newer members?
Well, we definitely have a live and voracious group. So I'd like to say that the people are drawn to join our club because we're so much fun. Despite our wide range of ages in the club, we do have a lot of fun. So in general, we do a lot of activities that we can, actually do the work. So we're building something, or we're giving things away where we can actually see, feel, touch, and meet the people that are going to benefit from it. And we just make those events fun. So I think because of that, we don't typically have a difficult time attracting people, but then when it comes to, some sort of, time outside of work to be able to give or fundraise, that's where the challenge comes in, because people are busier nowadays than they ever have been.
So what drew Tammy to the Lions Club?
Oh boy, I can credit my parents for that. They always just instilled in me the desire to help somebody if you have it. Our motto in the Lions Club is "We Serve," and my father was, both of my parents actually they started off in the JCs, and then they got involved in Rotary, and as a young child I felt like I was a Rotarian because I helped my dad with service projects all along. So it was my parents really that taught me that if you have the ability to help somebody less fortunate than you, then you should. And he shared a story years ago when he was in his 20s volunteering, and he said, you'll just never really know the true impact of what your gift can do and how it can change somebody's life, and to just keep on volunteering, because you may not always see the fruits of your labor, but I have had the ability to see that in our Lions clubs. Some of the things that we've done, and the recipients have received things from us that they never would have been able to. For example, we had a young college student last year who was challenged with her vision, and she wanted to go to college, and she needed a special computer to be able to take classes online, and it was a larger expense for our club, but we changed her life. And if it wasn't for the donations that we received from people in our community, we wouldn't have been able to turn around and then give to her, and her life is impacted by that.
All right, hang on. I got to take a quick break here, Tammy, and then we will be back. Tammy Claremont with the Bay City Lions Club, and we'll remind you of their big fundraiser coming up. I am broadcasting today from the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club store, located at 6321 State Street here in Saginaw Township. Big game tomorrow, game 4 of the round 2 series of the Ontario Hockey League playoffs. Saginaw down 3-0, really need to win that game, and a large crowd helps them do that because it's like the sixth man on the ice. Tickets are available for tomorrow night. You can stop in here at the store, again, 6321 State Street, or you could go online to SaginawSpirit.com, or you could call them at 989-497-7747. Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club. And then next year, of course, the Memorial Cup comes to Saginaw. The first time that championship has been east of the Mississippi in the United States. It's only been out of Canada 3 times, and they were all on the West Coast. This is the first time that an eastern city will host the Memorial Cup. We'll tell you more about that, of course, as the year goes on, and all of the availability of tickets and all things like that. But for tomorrow, tickets are available. Stop in here at the store, pick up some tickets, and join the crowd tomorrow night for Saginaw Spirit Hockey against the Sarnia Sting at the Dow Event Center.
Time to kick off your 2023 golf season with Treetops Resort and its annual We're Open Golf Tournament Saturday, May 6th at 10 a.m. Participants will play on the Jones Masterpiece for this fun golf scramble. The 5th annual Grill on the Hill, sponsored by Ebel's General Store and the Littletown Jerky Company, will also be happening. Come enjoy a barbecue competition and let your taste buds be dazzled. From 12:30 to 5, find live music, games, and plenty of fun for the family. Visit Michigan's most spectacular resort. Call 1-888-TREETOPS to book now.
General RV is having a factory direct pricing sale. Factory direct. It's all happening April 19th through the 23rd. We want to make it easy for you to get out camping, so we're rolling back prices. They can't get any lower. That means thousands of dollars in savings on motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more. General RV is having a factory direct pricing sale. Only at General RV in Birch Run off I-75.
What does winning Powerball sound like? Yeah! Sounds like it's time to play. We're talking big.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $251 million.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
And it's time now for WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center here in Saginaw. This is your chance to win a $1,000 daily cash prize by entering this baseball word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour, bullpen. Relief pitchers hang out in the bullpen. Alpha Media company-wide. Contest, you must be 18 or older to play. Complete rules at WSGW.com. WSGW's Baseball Bucks, presented by Westside Decorating Center here in Saginaw.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
And we are back with you here on Focus, talking to Tammy Claremont from the Bay City Lions Club in the few minutes we have left. Again, Tammy, let's remind everybody about your major fundraiser and where they will find you.
The Lions Club is hosting their annual Tag Days this Friday and Saturday in the Bay City community. We will just be located in many of the street corners. If you aren't going to be out and about in Bay City and want to make a donation in Saginaw, the Team One Credit Union branch on 8450 Gratiot will also take donations. Just use my name, Tammy, and you can leave a donation there, or the Bay City Team One Credit Union will also accept donations as well. But if you see us out and about, we're handing out yellow tags on the street corners this weekend. We'd love to get a donation from you so that we can continue all of our projects to impact somebody else's life in a positive way.
Did I hear you say earlier this is your only fundraiser that you do?
Yes, yep. This is the once a year we raise funds, and then we basically then budget for programs for the next year so that we can infuse that money back into the community, not just vision and hearing needs people, but we also do things like we build beds for children that don't have them in Bay County. We create an art contest that promotes peace to local school-age children, and we award scholarships to them. We do partner with other camps that help any vision or hearing impaired children. So we've partnered and done some bigger projects there. We helped with the foster kids and their building project, and then we also do a lot of things around the holidays for underprivileged people as far as gifts and food giveaways and that kind of thing.
The amazing thing to me is you can have just one fundraiser a year and make enough to do all of those projects.
Right.
Do you not have any fundraising during the year going on?
We'll do other special, like smaller projects. One of our capstone projects is called Pawpalooza. That happens in the fall, and portion of our funds goes towards Leader Dogs for the Blind, and then we also sponsor pet adoptions for people, and then make a donation to the animal shelter here in Bay City. So we do a couple of smaller events, but really the bulk of what we get to do comes from the fundraising that we accomplished this weekend.
So everybody look for Lions Club members in Bay City. Is there a website where people can get more information, or a Facebook page or something?
Yep, there's a Bay City Lions Facebook page. If you want to check it out there, and there will be a link later on today if they want to hop on there, and a QR code if they'd like to make a donation that way.
Well, Tammy, I wish you well with fundraising this weekend. We hope it goes well for you.
Thank you very much, Art. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Tammy Claremont with the Bay City Lions Club. Their big fundraiser takes place this weekend. We will take time out, come back and close out, and when we return, we'll also expect to hear from Steve Anderson at Baird & Company with our ticker tip of the day. But let me just remind you again, we are here at the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club store, 6321 State Street, where you can pick up tickets for tomorrow's Game 4, Round 2 of the Ontario Hockey League Championships. Saginaw takes on the Sarnia Sting in Game 4. We'd love to see you in the stands, because a full stand of 5,000 people is like having the sixth man on the ice for the Spirit. They can use all the help you can give them. So plan on getting your tickets here at the store or calling 989-497-7747 or online, SaginawSpirit.com. We'll be back.
At Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, an evening with James Taylor.
Oh, I've seen fire